Thanks, Kathy. This morning there was a report that small fish, zooplankton, squids, and krill have been disappearing in large masses. A possible suspect to these crimes is the baleen whale because this is their common appetite. They are in the kingdom Animalia, phylum Chordata, and class Phylum. Many different types of baleen whales have been seen in our ocean, all eating large amounts of food. There are multiple ways a baleen whale can eat depending on which type they are. One common feeding technique for a right whale is grazing slowly through the water with an open mouth to trap zooplankton in their baleen. A technique that rorqual whales use is gulping mouthfuls of prey and water, forcing their jaws together and contracting their throat grooves, forcing water out. Gray whales have been seen rolling on their side near the ocean floor and sucking in water and mud along with fellow bottom-dwelling invertebrates. But the most deadly trick of all is the bubble net. This is when a humpback whale goes down into the water and blows out of their blowhole. Bubbles float up towards the surface and form bubble nets, which their prey get caught in. Then the whale swims spiraling upwards towards the net with its mouth open. You may be wondering what these frightening animals look like so that you can watch out for them, so here's a quick report from a witness. Tina the tuna that caught a glimpse of the suspect is in its natural habitat before retreating the scene. So Tina, tell us about what you saw last night around 8:00 p.m.
Well, I was walking back to my house when I saw a very large whale swimming around. The whale was blackish-gray except for its flippers and its underside was white. The whale looked like it was about 86 feet in size, so I think it was a female because females are generally 5% longer than male whales. Her body was cylindrical and tapered at both ends. She had pectoral flippers on both sides of her, which are the forelimbs of terrestrial mammals, but a paddle-shaped on the end. On the end of her tail there was a horizontal fluke made of tough pads of connective tissue, which she was moving up and down. She also had a dorsal fin on top, which are usually 1 to 2 feet long. She had nostrils at the top of her head, commonly known as a blowhole, which has a watertight seal muscular flap. Her most vital characteristic was the stiff plates of keratin that grow down from the gums of her upper jaw. This, her baleen, where baleen whales get their name from. The baleen allows whales to filter feed without teeth. Her skin looked very smooth, but not oily. Unfortunately, she had a little bit of barnacle growing on the skin around her chin area. This whale was breathing out of the nasal opening at the top of her head. She had 2 blowholes that led to an air passage, which leads to the trachea and then to the lungs. She held her breath and then when she needed air went to the surface to breathe. When she surfaced, she opened her blowhole and explosively exhaled, then quickly inhaled and closed her blowholes once again. I was frightened when I saw this whale, but it wasn't a surprise. There are many baleen whales living by me because I share a natural habitat with them, the open seas.
Thank you so much, Tina, for all your help. To everyone out there in the open sea, here are some common behaviors of a baleen whale to be on the lookout for. You might see 2 baleen whales fighting each other. Don't be alarmed, they are just fighting to gain access to a female. The females may allow the largest and most aggressive male to mate with her, so the males have to be on the top of their game. Females can be pregnant from 10 to 14 months. In the last 6 months of her pregnancy, they eat 50 to 60% more than non-pregnant females. Another common behavior is excretion. Baleen whales have specialized kidneys that enable them to release high salt concentrations via large quantities of urine. Digestion occurs in a 4-chamber stomach. They have a high metabolic rate and they oxidize fats more than carbohydrates and proteins, so they lose even more water. Some interesting facts about them is that they are the largest animals on the earth, yet they feed on some of the smallest animals in the ocean. They also have sounds that may be the loudest sounds produced by any animals and may travel for tens or hundreds of kilometers underwater. Baleen whales usually feed singly, but sometimes they may swim in a group and graze in a V formation. Here is a short clip of the crime that was found.